Okay, welcome back, everybody. Literally live just as New York opens. Let's get a screen really quick. There we are. All right, NY has opened. Let's do some good scalping. Guys, the amount of insider trading that's going on is ridiculous. It's insane. Cody, good to see you. Good morning. Saw a short news clip talking about that insider trading candle right before the Iran news Monday. Whoever did that could be in some deep doo-doo. You're right, man. Like, I'm telling you, we weren't the only people who spotted it. The whole world spotted that because it was so obvious, It's the most obvious thing on the planet. I actually made a YouTube video about it, my last upload. I thought I might jump on the hype train, see if we get some views, who knows. But yeah, the most obvious insider trading ever done. Dave Bell, good morning. Mohammed, hello to you, my friend. How are you? Cherry, great to see you. Charis, welcome back. Hello, Sammy. Indicator keeps printing. Charis, that's amazing, man. That is amazing. I'm glad to hear it. Manu, good afternoon to you, my friend. How are you all? Look at this open. What have I got this setting to? I've only got it to 8, so it's not as big of a candle as it seems. Hello, my F footprint guru, Saeed. Hello to you as well. Ange Trader, hello. Alameen, good day. Everyone's in the chat. I love it. Amazing. In terms of levels today, let's just quickly go through what we're seeing. There's not that much. I mean, we got what was it's a little bit of a gap. It's nothing special. And then the next kind of viable gap would be up here, I would say. But extremely choppy. I mean, this is still we're still very much in that kind of, since the major Trump tweet, still very much in that area. Like I said, it's still going to be a choppy market, still a scalper's market. This isn't something you want to trade and hold. So I'm just going to draw out this high here, see what stops or take profits there are, because a lot of people have entered on the open. We had a lot of buy volume come in on the open. Let's see if they get out here and what the deal is. Daniel, hello to you, my friend. But yeah, there's been some crazy insider trading. I think I made a video about it yesterday. I uploaded it, and I think it was yesterday. It should have been yesterday. And I think it was Nadine. She sometimes comes in the chat here as well. She left a comment saying 8 p.m. UK time. Same thing happened. I checked on the charts, and she's absolutely right. Again, every bit of news that's coming out, there's someone who is a few minutes before, they just don't care, do not care. It's mental. It's really hard. It is just crazy. So anything you can trade it because essentially you're just looking for things that stick out, right? And then jump on the train. But you have to you would have to watch it constantly. And there'll be no point really doing it during NY open because, naturally the volume is going to be quite big around here. So if you get a big spike somewhere, I'm not going to instantly be like, oh, insider trading, because it can happen. But like pre-market, late in the evening, my time, obviously, or late in the afternoon, New York time, when the market's, gearing up to close, maybe a couple of hours before close, and then all of a sudden you see something really suspicious in the volume. Could be it as well. Charis Sammy at 6682. There are a lot of trap buyers and buyers that could spike it down. 6682. Let's have a look. 882. Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've got the high there. There's going to be there's definitely going to be stops and take profits. Anyone who bought on the open, they're probably targeting around this area. I can imagine. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what these guys at the open, this big cluster here, are they going to defend? Are they going to get out of the market? So if we tap into that kind of area, do we see a big spike in sell volume? If we do see a lot of sellers come in here, I don't know why I put O there, but you know what I mean, bunch of sellers, then we know that a lot of these guys have decided to get out break even, but it looks like they're defending, they're adding more volume. Let's see. Let's see. Trading ES for the first time today with you. Amazing. I had a bull Hammer at 6653 on 1 minute. 6653. Where is it? Assuming pre-market then, right? 6653. Somewhere down here then. Oh, this one here. I'm assuming. Maybe not. That is overnight high as well as the previous day high around 680. Nice. Nice. Very good stuff. Well, I'm glad the hammer candle's working really well for you, Charis. Also a small low volume node. Let's have a look, because I have got this drawn out, but it's okay. It's moved down a bit as the volume has changed. But I'm not too look. I mean, we've traded through so many times. There's a few times it's rejected, but I'm not really going to put much emphasis on it. The one down here a bit better, and there's a nice one down here, I believe, from yesterday. Yep. But in terms of nodes, not the greatest. Something big just happened. Oh, we're about to go. Oh, a lot of sellers got trapped. They tried to short it. Let's see. We're going to expect a big spike in buy volume around this black line. See if all the buyers get the hell out. If they're taking profit, sellers getting stopped. I imagine a lot of sellers, like this big chunk of volume here, I'm imagining that's mostly, sellers who came in here, put their stop there. That's them getting out. So the sellers are out the market. But let's see when the buyers get out. We should see, there it is, a nice 661. I mean, it's definitely some buyers have taken profit, but I think there's still many more buyers left in the market. They haven't really got out. A few of them got out. I mean, 661 in comparison to, the volume that did come in, only a few have gotten out, in my opinion. Not the mass majority. So it could still very easily keep going up, but we're seeing a little bit of selling coming in, but they're not really doing much. This is all fresh volume, but it's kind of no one really wants to transact here. There's a bit more sellers. All right, let's see if those sellers can actually do something. But ideally, I would rather see buyers come in. I mean, that's a lot of sell volume. They could easily get trapped and we could be vulnerable now. So I don't want to front run it just yet. Ideally, I want to see buyers get trapped, because that is buyers getting out. I think that's a lot of buyers getting out. Here's some fresh buyers. Good. Now I want to see them fail. Then I'm happy to come in. All right, it looks like they are failing. I'm going to jump in. I can have my stop up here. If we get wicked out, stopped out, who cares? But let's see if those buyers get squeezed out. Because I think what happened here, I don't think that was true sell pressure. I think that was a lot of people who didn't take profit. They're getting essentially out at, they're trailing out. A lot of buyers trailing out. Now, we don't really want to release those buyers, right? So we want to kind of stay below. We'll target the really low lows. I doubtful we'll get there, but we don't want. We need real sell pressure coming into the market. We're not really getting that at this moment in time. Maybe marginally, I think some of these 474 would be real sellers. So these guys are really holding the line. So my stop is kind of correct. We don't want to release those buyers, keep them trapped and squeeze them out. So let's see where those buyers would be. That's definitely, I think, some of the buyers getting trailed out. But we need fresh sell pressure. We haven't really got any fresh sell pressure. We got more buyers coming in trying to buy the dip, which is not good. So we want to stay below them. But realistically speaking, I would say buyers probably their stops are going to be, below this black line is really where we need to get at. But buyers are definitely dropping out, which is a good sign. There's a lot of buyers getting out, which is good. As long as buyers, so notice how we can start moving down as long as buyers are getting out the market, right? If buyers are insistent on keep buying, then of course we're gonna struggle to get down. But again, scalpers market. So if I see anything I don't like, I will get the hell out. this first little area here, I am very wary that people are going to come in. Buyers are coming in again. I don't like it. If we don't get below them quickly, I will just take it out. I will get out. I don't like this market at all for holding anything, because it does look a bit like a trend line. So I can imagine a lot of people want to buy here. Look, they're pushing it up. Come on, give me a bit of sell pressure. Show me that number drop a little bit. Back down to 400, but it's still, there's just no sellers. There's no real legit sellers. So I think I'm just going to get out, break even. I don't think this is the move yet, unfortunately. That's the problem. There's just no real legit sellers in the market. All this sell volume are just buyers. The only reason we drifted down wasn't actually due to real sell pressure. That was just easing off the gas. You know, buyers releasing pressure from the market, because a lot of the buyers are kind of getting out, trailing out. But until we get real sell pressure, like this is a bit of real selling, but it's marginal. 200, you know, these are big buyers. But if these guys, again, same idea, if we trap them and they fail, these buyers, we can jump back in. But I didn't see any sell pressure. That's the problem. I didn't see any real sell pressure come into the market. If I saw some sell pressure, I would have gladly held it a bit longer. Like in this area here where it was 597, 300, whatever. If that, 597 dropped back down to like 100, then I know, okay, that was some legit sell pressure. Here we got a bit of legit sell pressure, but look, they're not doing much. I mean, I could front run it, but the buyers aren't really trapped. I'm seeing a bit of sell pressure come in now, which is good. But I feel like they're not aggressive enough. They're kind of just trickling. The sell numbers are kind of trickling up. They're not coming up in like big chunks. Like you see how the buyers came in big chunks, like just 100, boom, executed. That means you got people with size. You got people with, institutional institutions, buying like big chunks, right? And they're the ones who ultimately move the market. When it's just like a trickle and it kind of just trickles, like, okay, it's starting to look a bit better here. We kind of absorbed a lot of that buy pressure. We might squeeze out these buyers here. There's a bit of chunky. All right, I'm going to go back in again. Let's see if I know realistically my stop has to be up there, but I'm going to put it there. But I don't really want to go higher than like that. Do you know what I mean? But because I'm seeing real sell pressure come into the market now, so we should be able to push it down at least a little bit. I'm seeing legit sell pressure come in, because this won't be any more, people trailing out or getting stopped out, because we've already cleared that area, right? So anything above that where we already went down, like this might be real, this might be not real sell pressure. This is more likely buyers getting stopped out, because we're already below that low. Does that make sense? Right? So it's an area where if you were a buyer, this is a new area lower down that it's got to. So I wouldn't count as real sell pressure. This is buyers definitely exiting, but these guys, these were real sellers, sorry. So good potential move. Right, we're going to that low. Naturally, I might exit if I see buyers come back in and get a bit effective. I'll exit, but seeing some decent potential sell pressure coming in, good. As long as they can keep it down. All right, nice. They cleared that quite easily. In terms of actually where else we could target, I mean, that low is really where I'd be most comfortable. Normally, I would keep trailing it, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I can absolutely keep trailing it down to see if there's any kind of, for all you know, you could go all the way down there, right? If it keeps carrying on like this and keeps looking nice, why get out, right? Only get out if you see something you don't like. Okay, there's a lot of volume. Definitely buyers getting the hell out. Like these original buyers, anyone who was still in that buy position, they're getting out at break even, which is good. So now we just need fresh sell pressure. But we're getting buy pressure coming in, trying to buy the dip, which I don't like. But as long as the sellers are actually willing to sell down here, we can keep pushing down. But if there's no sell pressure, then I got to get out, because then we're going to get a retracement. Or we could, not just a retracement, we could actually go up again, right? So a bit of sell pressure coming in, 230, there we go, 250. So they are coming in a bit, but it's dropping and jumping. They're not really pushing it down, so there are absorption. That means there are buy limits at the bottom there. Blocking, we need more sell pressure to break through. 400, all right. There are some people willing to sell, but look, it's jumped back down to 200, means another 200 buyers came back in. Oh, 500, big chunk there. Come on, that's it. That's what we want to see, a big chunk. Back to 400, there's definitely absorption there. That means there's an iceberg of some kind sitting here, holding back the sellers, but I think they're going to break it. Come on, more buyers trying to come in. Let's squeeze them out. Let's not let them give any room to breathe. Squeeze them out. One big chunk of buyers, sellers. There we go. Oof, there's definitely an iceberg here. We're sitting on an iceberg. Come on. A little bit more, otherwise I'm getting out. Come on. Come on, you bastard. Ah. Too many buyers coming in. This is tense. Come on. Give me a chunk of sellers. We can push this down. There we go. Come on, 500. Freaking hell, it's like a helicopter landing outside. What the hell is going on? Sounds like it's crashing. Genuine, can you guys hear that? What the hell? It's like a military helicopter. Holy shit. What happened? There's like a massive military helicopter just flew right over my house. Holy moly, that's a first. I've never had that. What's going on here? Sorry, I will get to the chat in a second. Okay, it's looking good. There is definitely the sell pressure still trying to break it, but we're getting to those lows. So naturally, I'm going to expect some kind of, take profits. So the pressure might get released a bit. As long as sellers are willing. The distribution, though, very nice. Look at all the buyers at the top of the candles. Very, very nice volume distribution. Very, very nice volume distribution. Oh, that's a big jump. Come on. Also, naturally, we're going to get sellers exiting the market here as well, probably take profits because we're at an area where you'd expect it. But hopefully, the majority stay in the market and keep adding, and we can keep flooding this down. But if that doesn't happen, it's no big deal, and we just get out with them. So we're just following whatever the other sellers are doing, basically. That's all I'm doing. Just copying what everyone else is doing. The buyers are still trying to come back in, but it's good that they're not really making much progress. But that is starting to good. Broken back down. They've reloaded to 300. That's it. Good. Sellers are adding more. That's what I want to see. That's definitely some take profits right there. That little 600 spike we saw. That's sellers getting out. A few sellers getting out, not all of them. Definitely some take profits happening here. So I may start looking to join if I don't see fresh sell pressure, keep this market down. Otherwise, I will also take my profit. I'm not really seeing much sell pressure. 300, nice, good. Jump back up again. That means there are still people willing to sell, which is good. But we're going to need a bit more because there's definitely icebergs at the bottom here. 500, people are still willing to sell. So I'm not completely willing to get out. Look at that, 700, 800. That is what I want to see. Well done, boys. They've just kept adding and adding. Well, freaking done. All right, but don't lay off the momentum now, I could, this might go even lower. And here I was saying, oh yeah, this is a scalper's market. Don't hold your trade. But look, if everything lines up and you're not seeing anything terrible, why get out? As long as it keeps happening, I'm happy to hold. So I really don't want to go much higher now than where those sellers came in. But this is nice. This is good. I'm just going to look at other areas where I expect take profits. I'm going to keep trailing this down. Keep it going. I mean, we're getting to that low now. Let's have a look at the volume. I should really be looking at the volume. Very nice. All right, bit of buy pressure finally coming in. That's quite a lot. I'm actually thinking about probably getting out here. I'm just going to give the sellers another few seconds. 540, 600. They are still adding, so it's okay. It's okay. If we get below those buyers, great. Oh, that's a lot of buy pressure. Let's quickly drop them down. 280, 300, 400. They're starting to make a bit of. All right, I'm getting out. Starting to get a bit too ballsy, the buyers. But nice. That was really nice. I did not expect it to go that far down. I thought maybe, here originally and then here, but we kept going. So really nice. All right, I can look at the chat now. Let's have a look-see. What is going on? I saw that. Saw that. Yeah. Daniel, Sammy, can you explain what other indicator can come close to the information that the footprint has given us? For example, if you see a hammer foot candle without footprint or high volume in a min. Honestly, Daniel, there's no indicator unless there's some indicator made. I mean, ultimately, the footprint is just giving you the volume from the exchange, right? Unless someone takes that volume and kind of turns it into a different indicator, fair enough. But as far as I'm aware, I don't think that exists. So there's nothing really that can replace the footprint, unfortunately. I'm using it fully just to trying to tune the indicator to make it more accurate. Wanted to ask you some info for the settings. Absolutely, Charis. Ask away. Bull hammer printed again on this bullish spike. Let's see if it works. I think probably it didn't work this time. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Unfortunately, that one definitely didn't work. But can you show your trading view settings, please? Stormer, absolutely. Are you looking the footprint settings? I'm assuming you want me to show. I do actually have a video, Stormer, on my channel, how to set up the volume footprint on TradingView. In that video, I show all the settings as well. So it might be easier just to watch that whole video or that section of the video. But if you want to see the settings, I'll just leave them up here. That's pretty much the main settings that I've got. And then I will, so you can have a quick look, and then I'll put it down. And then for the for the table, that's what I've got. All right. So you can always just go back, rewind, click pause if you want to see it a bit longer. Good morning, Holy Earth. How are you? Noticing Enjoyer. Why haven't you been going for your normal 1K a day recently? Is it just a market? Well, it's a different account. This account, I wouldn't do 1K a day on this account because I'd have to put a lot more risk. Do you know what I mean? This account was originally only 20K. So it's and also, yeah, the market has been kind of bad recently. And like I try and, whatever the market gives me, I'll take. I'm not so obsessed with trying to, hit a certain target anymore. But yeah, trailed it to 664 and got out. Very nice. 66. Where did you go? 6664. Okay, very nice. Yeah. That's not a bad place to get out as well. Nice stuff, Charis. Iran is invading the UK. Honestly, it sounded like it. That bloody helicopter was ridiculous. 6636, strong support and weekly VWAP. 6636, you say? Okay, down here. I could definitely see, it's slowing down. But the buyers didn't actually manage to, yeah, the sellers came back in. Could have held that, to be fair, to my TP, but I'm kind of happy where I got out. Unbelievable run. I know that was a great run. It was just everything just worked out perfectly. You saw the buyers just weren't really being effective. Sellers kept coming in the numbers. Sometimes it happens like that, and it's really, really nice. Other times, unfortunately, not so much. Great trade. Thank you, Noticing Enjoyer. Manu, good run for a warm-up. Let's go. Sam, how are you? Yes, please. Cool. I'll take a look at the video. Absolutely, Stormer. Is there anything similar? So the Resolute Trader, is there anything similar to TradingView Footprint on Ninja Trader? Yeah, Ninja Trader has footprint. You just got to set it up to be, similar to mine. Like I used a Delta footprint, right? In terms of exactly like the colors and all that, I'm pretty sure you can customize all that. The one thing I really like about TradingView's footprint is that the row size I can adjust manually, which is really, really nice. That's one of my favorite features of it, to be honest. Martin, good to see you. Hello, you are live. I am live indeed. On your settings, would you change the ticks per row of trading NQ? Absolutely, Suzanne. So NQ, generally, I would say around anywhere from 16 to 24, depending on how volatile that day is. With ES, it's usually 4 or 8. So NQ would look terrible at 8 ticks per row. I can show you it now real quick. It will just look horrendous. Yeah, like this is very hard to read because it's just too many numbers in small areas. You can't really see the clusters of volume that well. So you want to bump that up probably to like, I would say maybe 20. Until, 20 looks quite good on NQ. The clusters are nice and big, and you can instantly, without really, you can just instantly, your eyes just see the big numbers. Boom, boom, boom. You don't really have to do any mental math or anything like that, And that's literally the only reason, that's all the ticks per row should be for, just make it visually easier for you to see. That's literally it. All right. And obviously 20 for ES just looks horrendous. So you want to drop that back down to 8. I did notice something on the footprint though. They've added something. Unfinished auction. So they've added this now just recently. They didn't have that before. So you can now, an unfinished auction is when there's basically no buyers or sellers at the top or bottom. So they've literally just added that. Very nice. Let's turn it on. Let's see how it looks. Let's see, because I don't use the buy and sell footprint. So I don't think it will really show me any. Oh, okay. It does it like that. Yeah, but that's just a lot though, isn't it? I mean, that's hard to trade. It's just too much stuff happening all at once. But fair enough. And I don't think they've added anything else. But they keep randomly, once in a while, you'll see that they're adding new features to it, which is good because that shows, they're realizing more and more people want order flow, and they're slowly starting to, add more features to it. They're very much like Apple TradingView. You know how Apple will come out with a feature that Android's had for 10 years and then they'll pretend like, oh, this is something new. But when they do come out with it, it works quite well. That's kind of how TradingView is. So they're lacking features at this moment in time, but no doubt, in a few years' time, they'll have like everything you want for an order flow platform. So, and they'll do it well, and that's the important part, Charis, Sammy, I will DM if that's okay to get a bit of consultation for the settings. So far, I see 80% working success rate on 1 to 2. Have a great day, guys. Absolutely, Charis. DM me. That's absolutely fine. I'll reply after the live. All right. Coach Z, good morning. How are you, my friend? Good video last night regarding a suspicious move the other morning. Well done. Thank you, Coach. Yeah, that was mental. I still can't believe someone was that brazen to do that kind of insider trading, so obvious as well. Mental. Absolutely mental. But what can you do, Oh, okay. We're about to clear the low. So I imagine a lot of take profits about to get. Oh, yeah. We just saw 700. I think I saw there. Yeah. Definitely some take profits were triggered. I didn't see how much the volume spiked up in that moment, but there's definitely going to be stops, take profits, everything. So we're expecting lots of, sell volume in that area. Lots of nice fresh buyers coming in, but look how quickly they failed potentially. So if you were to short it, you can pretty much have a stop here now. Do you know what I mean? And as long as sellers keep coming in, this is going to keep dropping, and they do. Look, they're just drop. Bloody hell! I was a bit late. Um, it just didn't even give me a second to get in, but that was really nice to see because look how quickly they kind of trapped those buyers. There was not even much of a struggle. Sellers came back in instantly. Now a few more buyers trying to get it back, but all right, now's a bit of buy pressure coming in. But as long as we get again below those buyers and sellers are willing to get, all right, now they're starting to come a bit more heavier, the buyers. It may have been just a little spike, and the buyers are trying to trap all these fresh sellers. It could be that. I think they might. I think they just did a little switcheroo on the sellers. They're probably sweating themselves right now. Definitely, definitely. We're going to see sellers get stopped out. I think anyone who sold here and is still in the trade, who didn't get out break even. I think a few people did obviously get out, but I can imagine a lot of their stops are going to be like around there, right? Let's see if those sellers who came in this little consolidation area are still willing to. But truth be told, I don't think that's again genuine buy pressure so much. I don't think that spike is really going to be buy pressure, like real buyers. These are real buyers, definitely real buyers. I think that's going to be a lot of sellers who did get in maybe in this area here because it broke through the low and it just dipped in. A lot of people see that as like a manipulation move, and then that really quick kind of reversal, it probably spooked a lot of people. They just got out. A lot of these sellers just instantly, I'm out. That's definitely sellers getting the hell out of the market. Look at that. These sellers are starting to, all right, could be a potential buy again. Because there was some real buy pressure there. Definitely sellers are out the market, but I want to see sellers come back in and fail. Because the only reason right now I wouldn't want to jump in for a buy just yet is because we haven't really tested the sellers on how efficient they are. Yes, we know a lot of these sellers are out the market now, right? They've just got out. Now there's a bit of fresh sell pressure, but not a lot. Until they're tested to see how effective they are, we don't know because they could come in heavy and then just bring it back down again. And then, all right, fine, So we want to actually test how good the sellers are. So we're getting a little bit of a glimpse here, but the sellers are coming in, but it's not a lot. 150, 40, 70. It's not huge numbers, right? And they're not doing too bad right now. They're not moving it much, but considering how little volume it is, there's some fresh buyers just wiped out the sellers. Sellers are still coming in, but when they do come in, they do kind of push it down a little bit. So they're all right, the sellers. They're not actually terrible. So I wouldn't want to buy against them just yet. That's it right there. That's where you want to buy. I'm getting in. I don't know if you guys saw that, but there was like 200 sellers there, and then instantly a big chunk of buyers came in. So we can have our stop right below that candle if we're wrong. Because that was an institutional buyer who did one big aggressive order right there because it happened so quick. So I can have a stop just below there. Let me zoom in a bit. Yes, we are near the high, so there's naturally going to be probably some new sellers that will come in and it'll be a bit choppy. But if that buyer that came in here, if that person is willing to add and be that aggressive again, I think we're going to break through here because it happened instantly. There was like 300 or 200 sellers or something, and then in a split second it just went boop. So let's see what this buyer can do. Can this buyer keep adding? Can he, keep that momentum up? If not, all right, fine, he fails, because we're just trying to jump on the order of a big institution. We're just trying to catch their crumbs. But it looks like he's struggling a little bit. We don't really want to get much below that line. So I've got a very tight stop here. Very, very tight stop. Maybe a little bit too tight, but it's fine, because I'd rather have a tight stop, because the sellers are extremely. I can always jump back in if I'm a little bit off. I'm seeing that buyer really defending. Come on, add more size, buyer. There are sellers wanting to come in, but he absorbed those sellers so quickly. I want to see oomph. I want to see real volume come in. 200, 100, 69, 173. It's a bit, there he is, 400. That's a bit better. Come on, add. There's definitely some sell limits at the top here that are a bit of an iceberg. Let's break through that black line then, get out all those sellers. They're adding volume. This is the buyer again, adding volume. So really, I don't want to get below this candle now. Do you know what I mean? This is kind of the area. If we get much below there, it starts looking bad again. But we're so close to getting out, getting, around this black line is where there's going to be a lot of stops, right, from the sellers. So we just need a little bit more, squeeze them out. We've almost got it. They just struggled a little bit. They got close and they just struggled. Come on, give it another shot. I think you can do it this time. Just one last push. 100. Oh, that was a big. It's not that massive amount of sellers, but I don't like how it went red instantly. But they took control again. The sellers are still coming in. Look at that. Sellers are coming in quite strong. 300. We don't want to see the buyer get out. Anything kind of over 500 on the sell side, I would imagine, is that buyer getting out. So I don't want to see the sell volume spike too much. Otherwise, that buyer's getting out. It looks like he might be. I think he's out. I think he's given up, unfortunately. I'll leave my stop where it is, but I've been triggered out. Yeah, we've been triggered out right there. Very similar to but that buy, unfortunately, almost had it, but they're out the market. You can see exactly where they kind of exited, But we'll get another fresh wave of buying potentially. It might still happen. Oh, it's a little bit too tight, but it's fine. There's a bit of real buy pressure coming in again. I think they still want it, but I need to see real sellers come in and get squeezed out. Because I don't know how many of this area here realistically is going to be, because I'm pretty sure that's just a lot of that buyer there just having a very tight stop like what I did, and got essentially the exact same position of what I just what happened to me, right? Just got stopped out really quickly. These are fresh buyers. I want to, now you see sellers are coming in. If they fail, we want to see real sell pressure fail. That's the important thing. 240, 22, 260. It's just not a lot though, is it? There's a bit more. All right, if we get above that 300 again, potentially, and see some real buy pressure come in, I could jump in again, I think. But he almost had it, that guy. He almost had it. He went in very aggressively and almost had it. Let's see if we can get above that 300. Come on. Give me some good buy pressure. 89, 200. All right, let's try it again. We're not quite above it, but let's see if they can finally break through, because I think they want to, and then we can have a stop literally below that candle. Right there. But again, if we start failing near the high, I'll probably just take the money, because it might just rotate again down. That is definitely, it's hard to say if that's real buy pressure, but that is some good volume coming in. But I do think, but look, it went from 800 back down to 300. That means a big chunk of sellers just instantly came back in, right? And look at that, sellers coming back in. They're not giving up yet. If we can just get a slightly above them, let them fail. Come on, give me some buy pressure quickly. I need it now. I need buy pressure right this second. Otherwise, I'm going to get out. Come on. Come on. 300, 390. Come on, defend, buyers. Defend. Where are you? Ah, you bastard. Almost. All right, I'm going to give them one last chance, these buyers. Because these are real sellers. I'm going to hope that they fail. All these people are real sellers. If we, again, get above them, that's a good sign for us. So as long as buyers are willing to buy a bit lower down, like it looks like they were, if they can just once more get above them, we might be able to make the move here. That's it. Good, good. Add. Come on. Ah, that's not good. Don't trap yourself. Come on, drop this number back into positive. I need that 14727, whatever. Go into positive. Oh, I don't want it going the other way. Where are you, buyers? Where are you? Come on. Come on, squeeze them out. Come on. Okay, that's looking good. We're above them. Now add more volume. Come on. Any second now. It's going to pop. Come on. It's about to pop. It's about to pop. Come on, it's about to pop. We're about to squeeze them out. I've seen this happen so many times, and then it just boop, pops. And all those sellers are like, ah, shit. And they all get out, and it's just boom. There it is. Come on. Well, it's not quite the pop yet. It's close, but come on. There it is. Let's get above that black line. Let's really get them out the market because they're almost about to get stopped out, these sellers. They're fighting still. They're still fighting. Just pop above. Stop them out. Stop them out. Come on. There it is. 600. Boom. Let's get really above that area. We want to see a massive spike in buy volume. I think that was some sellers getting out. But I really want to see the majority get completely cleared out here. Come on. We're so close now. It can do this. Boom. There it is. There's their stops. 700, 900. That's all the sellers getting stopped the hell out. But we got to be careful now because if there's no fresh buy pressure coming in and sell pressure comes in, it's going back down. So we need fresh buy pressure, real buy pressure to keep this market propped up. Otherwise, it's a failed breakout and then a quick reversal. So it's not over yet because there has to be real buyers coming in now willing to buy at this height, higher up, in order to get this market up. And I'm not seeing real buyers come in yet. This is, 52 for a few little buyers, but nothing major. Look, sellers are coming back in. They're using it as an opportunity to sell. I need to see real buyers. Otherwise, it ain't happening. I see buyers are just not coming in. Where's the volume? Where's 100, 200, 300? Look at that. 400 on the sell side. They're coming back in. Oh, there it dropped. It dropped to 19. So there was a bit of real buy pressure there. But still sellers coming in. No, it's not actually over yet. There is real buyers coming in now. That's it, 160. Come on. Keep that buy pressure up and be effective at getting this up. This is actually not terrible. They came in a little bit. It took a bit of time. But we don't really want to get below now this 19, right? We want to see the buyers keep control of this market. Come on. 160, 200. There's some real buyers. Good. Well done, buyers. See, as soon as they come in and they're willing to buy higher up, we can get this market up. That's the important part. They need to be willing to keep jumping in. Fresh buyers. And then you get the move. Look at that. Beautiful. Come on. But that momentum has to carry on and keep carrying on, keep carrying on. That's definitely stops getting hit there. There was a lot of sellers still in the market, clearly, who had their stops a little bit higher, who are getting trailed out. But look at these sellers. They're using the opportunity to keep shorting it. So this is probably more of a pullback on the sell side rather than a real reversal, but we'll see. As long as they don't make too much progress, we'll keep holding it. This is the idea, right? But that is a lot of volume I do not like, and I'm not seeing it drop. I'm not seeing the numbers go more positive, really. Looking at 300, 400 is actually a lot of buyers. 500, I mean, a lot of sellers, sorry. There's really no major buyers right now. It's all just sellers. So I think I might have to get out here. I'll give it another couple of seconds, give them anything. Because I know the buyers are a little bit cautious at jumping in this market. There is a bit of buy pressure. Back down to 400, 300. They take their time. They're being a bit slow. They're just taking their time. But again, sellers are willing to come back in. Sellers are willing to buy at, transact at this area than buyers. This is the thing. Buyers are a bit cautious buying higher up, which I understand because we just had this big sell-off, right? So most buyers are likely, if we get a pullback, then buyers are more likely to jump in because they'll see it as, oh, this is good. But at this moment in time, the majority of buyers are a bit more like, oh, I'll wait for a pullback before I come in. I don't want to buy near this move right now, which I kind of understand. But as long as we keep kind of grinding up, more and more people will be more confident to keep jumping in, right? There it is. See? Bit of buy pressure. That's what I want to see. All right, in terms of take profit, let's already start looking. I've just got it randomly set there, but we'll just go see if we can rotate back to the high. You never know, right? We are at that kind of low, which could form as resistance now. That was support, now resistance. So I'm a little bit cautious again, but we'll see. Oh, there's a lot of sell pressure still coming in. Come on, I need to see more buyers. Come on. I will get to the chat in a second. I'll just let this trade play out. I don't like that. Look at that. Sellers willing to sell at the bottom, but it's good. Back down to 150. They keep reloading, these sellers. There's a few buyers in the market. They're just not as aggressive. 140, 170, back down to 80, 34, 150. There we go. Good. Ugh, back down to 29, negative 12, 170, 200. All right, there are a few buyers buying in chunks, which is good. There's like, sometimes it chunks up, it jumps up the number there. 100, 180, 40, back down to 60, 150. See, 200. That's it. Like whenever you get the chunks of buyers, we get that movement. That's all we need to keep seeing. Big chunks. If the chunks don't happen, then they get exhausted, essentially. That means they're exhausted. But the sellers are still doing the same thing, though. They're kind of coming in a bit more, not in such big chunks. They're coming kind of trickling in a bit more, but still dangerous. Look at that, 400, 500. That's it. Come on. That's got to break through. Surely now. Surely. That was 500 there. Back to 400. They're definitely willing to... they're getting a bit more confident, these buyers, but there must be an iceberg or something there. It's amazing how 500 contracts couldn't get through. And again, another 100 still couldn't get through. Sellers coming in with 100. All right, there's definitely something in this area here holding back the buyers, which is a little bit annoying. But if buyers add enough, they can break through the iceberg. Oh, that's a lot of sellers. Looking at 300, 360, 400. I think that's, unfortunately, I think the sellers are coming in too aggressive. I'll take the money. I think that's out. There's an iceberg there. Some seller is coming in very aggressive. I think that was it. But there we go. There we go. It just got exhausted. Let's see on the chat. Hello, Sammy. Hope you're doing great. I'm late today. That's fine, Alexis. I'm doing really, really good. How are you? I hope the poor buyers did not hear you, hear you calling them bastards. Yeah, no, they're fine. They like being called that. Yeah, fuck sellers. By the way, we are sellers a few minutes ago. Hey, man, you got to be able to switch sides very quickly, right? At one time, I like the sellers. Next time, I hate them. That's just how it is. ZT Content, good morning, my friend. How are you? Eric, how are you? Coach, did you see my post in Discord? 1K or bust. I tagged you. Great day. I haven't looked at it. Sorry. I will look at it after the stream. I promise, Eric. All right. I promise. But congratulations, man. 3K day. That's incredible. Well done. Alameen, it's VWAP. Okay, so VWAP is up here. Yeah, there was a bit of, there was definitely some kind of iceberg here. But let's see if the buyers can. Oh, look, they're putting in another 600. They're still not getting it above here. There is definitely an iceberg. If that's where VWAP is, then maybe that's someone's put an iceberg order at VWAP. So, well, what can you do? Do you know what I mean? And that kind of makes sense. You know, it's this previous support has now kind of become resistance. So it lines up with market structure. Someone's just put a big iceberg there. Now, whether the buyers can put enough pressure in to break through it, that's really the question. But it's going to be, look, I mean, it's tough. But sellers also failed at the bottom here. But I do think that's probably also a lot of buyers getting out. Very similar to what I did. I think a lot of people would have spotted, look, the number is getting big, always at this area, or they're just about popped through. They've popped through the iceberg, took another 300, but they did it. They absolutely did it. Well done, buyers. Look at that. And they're holding the support now. They don't want it to get back low again. They don't want this seller taking over. Well done, buyers. They did it in the end. But I think also that 500 we see on the sell side here, I think that's a lot of people similar to what I did who rode this up, started seeing that there's an iceberg here. And they just decided when we dropped a bit too low, I'll just take my money. And then that happened. A lot of people did the same thing. Look at that. These buyers are trying to keep it really up now. They're not, look at that. They're holding this line. This is actually very interesting to see, but they're willing to buy so high up. Again, you could look at this. The seller, there is a seller there, but this buyer is serious. I wouldn't be opposed to buying there. And you can have your stop literally below here. Because that buyer's now willing to trade at the top. Oh, look at that. That big seller who was clearly absorbing. This is really interesting. So this is actually crystal clear to see right now, right? We had a seller in the market, right, on this iceberg. Their iceberg got cleared, right? So they're now in a massive short position, and they're trying to defend and trying to get the market below their entry, because their entry is right here, this seller, right? Maybe a few thousand contracts, right? And the buyers managed to break through them, and now they're like, shit. So they're entering aggressively to try and get this market down below their below where they entered, so they're not in drawdown. And then there's some other institutional buyers like NAP spotted what they're doing and trying to hold them off from getting into the entry. So it's like a really there's basically two people trying to fuck each other over right now. This is really funny to see. I'm kind of again though, who's going to win? That's hard to know, because now we got two big institutions genuinely trying to squeeze each other out. So I'd rather kind of sit back and not really play this game. But it looks like the seller's really aggressively trying to squeeze out that buyer, but he might have done it. So now what I can imagine, yeah, he's did it. He's done it. The seller did it. Well done. But you could see it in real time. Do you see what I mean? That was brilliant, because it was very odd, right? There was a buyer, because we went above it and then we came back in, and then the buy pressure, all these buy contracts came in. Very, very odd that that buyer was willing to buy so high up. Do you know what I mean? Because they knew there was an iceberg here. They knew that there's some institutional seller who built up passively, and they were trying to squeeze them out. Look at that. They're trying to squeeze each other out. These motherfuckers. Look at this. Look at this game that they're playing. Look at and the seller's trying to. Oh, I think he's out. The buyer squeezed him out. Did you see the volume spike here on the buy side? Because obviously this seller again put their stops now as they were feeling a bit more secure about their position. They obviously, put a stop loss just a bit above, and they just got wiped out. What is going on? You saw them desperately for a few seconds here. It went red, desperately trying to keep trying to jump in again to stop it going to their stop loss. And this is absolute maniac stuff. Yeah, this is what I mean. Like when you see two clear institutions just fighting each other, and they got more money than sense. Don't even get involved because it's just mayhem. It's complete mayhem. Like, what was the point in that? What was the actual point? I don't know. It's kind of childish in a weird way, isn't it? We're at the point of control, therefore more resistance. Where is the point of control? I'm assuming it's around there now. Yeah, you're probably right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, bang on the point of control. Definitely. Well, I hope everyone caught that, because that was really cool to see in real time. You could read that story crystal clear in that moment, and now it's kind of dying off because I think both of them are kind of the seller's definitely out for the most part. You saw them get out there; they got stopped out. They're probably jumping in a little bit again, see if they can do it, but they're kind of calmed down now. Do you know what I mean? They've calmed down. They're not fighting as much. JC, what were the black horizontal lines based on? So this horizontal line was just that low there, right? This one was based on when I was actually in the trade when I bought. So if I show you where I bought here somewhere, right? Yeah. So this trade here, what candle is that? 509. Yeah. I can't remember exactly, but basically as we were moving up, you would have to watch it back. You will see me draw it. It's when you basically see fresh buyers come in and they should be propping it up. Then I keep putting a line there and say, right, I don't want it to go much lower than here, etc., etc. So that's basically what the black lines are. But I can get rid of them pretty much now. Like they're no longer really in play. Like this black line I can put to this low here now. That black line was again just for that low, but obviously that's no longer in play. And then this black line was the old high. I can put it up there now. And now as we create more structure, kind of, highs and lows, I can put black lines where I would expect, stops to be and things like that. But it's more just about gauging where, people's stops are, where take profits would be, and then trying to see the volume spike in those areas so you can track who's in the market and who's getting out. That's essentially what we're trying to do, right? We're just trying to track who's in the market, who's exiting. Alameen, is today going to be a range day with the initial balances this large, clearing Asia and London highs and lows? Hard to say. I mean, it looks, I think ultimately it's going to be a range day. I don't think we're really going to be trending today until more kind of news comes out as a whole. The market is still very much fundamentally driven about Iran. So until that becomes a bit more clarity, I don't think we're going to get major kind of trends or anything. So it's going to be choppy and, like I said, a scalper's market for the most part for until more news comes out. So be very cautious, be willing to get the hell out, scalp, and try and time it well. There's going to be times, scalping. Unfortunately, you get chopped up sometimes. You know, even when you're right, but you need to have a tight stop. Like, no, I literally got stopped out to the T, unfortunately. But at that moment of time, if I had my stop here, all right, I would have been fine. But in that moment of time, that is where the buyer was, and all right, you just gotta have to have tight stops, even if you get stopped out to the T. It doesn't matter because you don't want to be in a position where you get caught out. What am I up today? 250. Oh, that's not too bad. Not too bad. About 1%. This is just nasty now. I mean, I've lost track of what the hell is going on, to be honest. Completely lost track of what's going on. We're seeing I'm going to ignore everything from here and just look at this area now. I think most of these are real sellers, most are real buyers, most are real sellers. It's just big accumulation right now. At this moment in time, it's 50-50, anyone's game until stops get hit, until someone leaves the market. So I imagine there's going to be a stop above that high and below that low. So until we really kind of clear that and see who is actually exiting the market, it's anyone's game. Do you know what I mean? It becomes 50-50, and I don't really want to be trading that. I'm just going to check financial juice, see if anything actually came out. Crude oil, that's nothing to worry about. What the hell is test? Oh man, test came out. Guys, massive news. At 2:24, there was test came out. Yeah, you're gonna be careful when test comes out. That is that moves the market, that one. 215. What happened at 215? Yeah, it didn't really do anything. I was around there. Yeah, there was nothing major really in that time. Test. Someone's getting fired at financial juice. Coach, I forgot to tell you my futures account was reviewed and it passed. They approved my trading style and I'm finally live. Way well done. I love Ola. God is great. Amazing, Eric. I'm so happy to hear that. Welcome to the team. Welcome to Ola Prime. Welcome as a live funded trader. Amazing. Now make that money, man. Make that money. Get those payouts. Amazing. Furcan test. 6654 old point of control and VWAP 6657. Let's have a look. 6654, yeah. So that was an old point of control. Yeah. So it's just moved up a little bit, but around the same area. Oh, stops might get hit. Let's have a quick look. Zoom in. Sorry, Said. I will get back to that in a second. I just want to see the volume. And then you said, sorry, it was Mohammed, sorry. And VWAP 6657. So we're kind of, we're in a very high traffic area, which kind of makes sense. And, you're going to get this. Generally, the point of control usually, this is why I don't like the point of control. I use it more as like a target, a take profit, rather than like something for an entry. Just because you get chop usually at the point of control, you get chop. Please advise how you switch side. I was short until 10:01 candle. Oh, 1 second, side. Let me just see if sellers get stopped out. If we see a big chunk of buy volume above this black line, we know sellers been stopped out. Somewhere in this area. I mean, it's hard to know exactly where their stops are, but you can imagine it'll be in this area, right? Now they're defending. Sellers are still. Oh, there it is. There it is. All right, a lot of sellers got stopped out, but not as much as I'd imagine. I still think there are a lot of sellers holding right now, so I think they can still defend. Some sellers got stopped out, but not a lot. I mean, it went up to what, 500? If you actually look at the volume that came in on the sell side, it's hardly the majority. So, and more sellers are willing to come back in to try and stop out the buyers now. So it was a false breakout. It wasn't a real deal. Sorry, Saeed, you were saying, please advise how you switch side. I was short until 10:01 candle. Took profit, but couldn't go long like you did. My brain seems to be stuck in bias. It's more just about, as long as you know who is fresh in the market and where the stops and take profits are, as long as you can read the volume and make sense of it, you can see that change kind of slowly occur, the shift in kind of power, right? So we had that breakout, right? Because the low was like here somewhere. And then this breakout happened. And naturally, there was a lot of his sell volume was, take profits, stops or whatever from, sellers taking profit, things like that. And then you had like a bunch of buy volume come in, right? So we know these are fresh, an element of fresh buyers, but naturally also anyone trailing, right, or who did sell here and they see that breakout and then quickly just kind of apply logic to it. If you were in that person's shoes, if you sold here and we had this breakout really quick and then all of a sudden that was that instant reversal, you might be very hesitant to hold that because we all know false breakouts, right? Many times the market will dip, break out, and then instantly reverse. You're always kind of cautious about that when you're breaking out, right? If there is a breakout, you're always going to be cautious of that reversal of a false breakout. So the moment, it instantly kind of starts shooting up again, I imagine a lot of these sellers just went, nope, get out. Like logic will tell you a lot of them, no, I don't like it. Because if it's a real breakout, it will kind of, flood down a bit more and you'll have a bit more momentum, right? But we didn't get that. So I would then cross off a lot of this volume to be actually sellers getting out of the market. So a lot of these sellers getting out of the market, right? So all this volume I can kind of now like ignore. And now this becomes like a new kind of fresh area, right? And then obviously, as we go up even higher and you see these massive chunks of buyers, again, kind of makes sense that, again, anyone who was holding still, they're just getting out the market. They're seeing, this move up happening. They're all just dropping out the market. It just kind of logically makes sense, right? So again, I can cross off a lot of this volume right now. But then we get fresh sellers coming in. Now it's all down to these sellers, right? Are these sellers able to keep pushing it down? Are we seeing sellers willing to keep jumping in? Or are they kind of just, there's no real sell pressure coming in? And then we saw buyers also come in. So I actually initially jumped in here, right? And I had my stop like there. And I did get stopped out right here, annoyingly. But because if these buyers are aggressive enough and keep trying to, add and are willing to keep jumping on, we could have that breakout, right? And that move up. Didn't work out. You saw, sellers came back in, but again, a lot of this volume would make sense that exactly what happened to me, right? We had a lot of buyers in this area, right, who were trying to play it. They just probably got stopped out. So again, I don't count this as true sell volume, right? I think that's a lot of people getting stopped out, identical to me. So we're just bit by bit, play by play, we're trying to figure out what logically makes most sense in the footprint candle per candle, right? And then the next move, I jumped in again, I think somewhere here, because again, we had fresh sellers come in to the market, right? Ooh, trying to get the pen tool. These guys, They failed. These guys failed. Then we had fresh buyers. So now it's down to these guys. If they can hold the market, we can have a stop here. And then this was the move. These sellers kept failing. Buyers kept coming in. And that was the move that we played, right? So you're looking for, candle per candle, try and figure out who is who in the market just by applying logic. And then it becomes a lot more clearer, right? Hi, Sammy. Good vid on insider trading footprints. Thank you, Sean. Good to see you as well. Thank you so much. NQ doing a better job of catching a bid than ES. Is NQ, let's have a look at NQ real quick. See how NQ is looking. Yeah. Still. NQ is also not looking very nice either. None of them are looking good right now, are they? We're all looking a bit meh. But good to see you, Brian. Good to see you back. ES may try to catch up if NQ holds. Very well. It could very well. Mohammed, Sammy, what are the settings of volume profile in NinjaTrader? Honestly, Mohammed, I have no idea. I've never used NinjaTrader, so I really don't know the settings. But essentially, you're looking for the delta footprint. If you want it to look like mine, delta footprint, it will be called something delta. Maybe they have a different word for footprint, but whatever, it'll be called delta something. And then, I mean, that's literally all it is. It's just a delta footprint. That's literally all I'm using. There's a lot of something's happening here. There's a buyer who's very, very serious. Sammy, do you enter and exit with multiple contracts? Normally, yes. I like to kind of add normally. It depends. A lot of the time, like I used to be very much of like breaking my orders up. I've done a little bit less of that, and I've tried to be a bit more. I've kind of not switched my style, but I how can I explain it? I used to always try and front run a bit more, right? So the way I used to trade a little bit more, but in this market conditions lately, it hasn't been as good. So I've kind of become a bit more wait for confirmation style now. But what I used to do is, like the moment I saw these sellers fail and buy and sellers drop out and buyers come in, I would enter a contract right away. And then if I see kind of, this is holding and it's going good, then I'll add another and try and, add more. So I'll dip my toe in on like the first sign of failure and then try and add. But I found in these conditions lately where it's just been so wicky and it can be so crazy, you get stopped out a lot more. So I'd rather now be a bit more cautious and kind of wait for that. Like I don't mind entering a bit higher up, like here, rather than trying to get that perfect, really tight stop kind of trade. In order to, do you know what I mean? Get a bit more of a better win rate. Just because the markets are, I mean, look at it, yeah, they're dangerous lately. Tamsleen, how are you? Hi, Sammy, new here. Been trading futures for 16 months now. Just opened a live account with tight daily loss limits, moving away from props. Want real stakes in the game. Thanks for the lesson so far. Amazing. Great to hear, Tamsleen. Really good. I hope you keep joining the lives and update us on your journey. And if there's anything, I can help in these lives or explain, please feel free to ask. But great to have you here. Dre Wayne. Markets were so much easier to read yesterday. This consolidation is messing with me. Yeah, like right now, there's no point even trying to make sense of this. This is just meh. Until we break these highs or break that low there in the consolidation, we see the volume really spike and we know one side has truly got out the market, then we can start thinking, because we need that kind of fresh. One side needs to be cleared. Do you know what I mean? Like if we hypothetically right now, say we shoot up above, all these highs, right? And we know there's a bunch of sellers who accumulated here and they all got their stop somewhere up here, right? Everyone's going to have their stop a little bit different, but in that area, and we see a massive spike in buy volume, right? All of a sudden, 1K buyers come in instantly in that area. We know a lot of these sellers are out the market, and that's kind of cleared, it's kind of cleared the slate a bit. And now any new sell pressure we see come in this area, we know that's real legit sellers, and then we can measure how effective they are. Do you know what I mean? Are they really aggressive? Are they willing to, keep selling? Are they? And then we can base our decision on that. But when it's accumulated this much and it just becomes a complete, I mean, whatever you want to call this, right? Just a complete battle between big buyers and sellers. Yeah, we just stay away. Do you know what I mean? Because it becomes 50-50. Like the only person who's going to win here is whoever gives up. And there's no way of kind of knowing who's going to give up, right? Until they actually give up. Like we can kind of presume maybe sellers will give up. It's getting quite close to the highs. They might start getting a bit scared and drop out. But until it happens, we truly don't know, right? It's kind of anyone's game. You too, great job today. Thank you, Brian. Thank you. Good to see you too. NQ going for highs. ES a bit of a boat anchor though. Yeah, this is the sellers are doing quite well. I mean, look, they're still willing to transact. I mean, naturally, of course, we're in a range, so it kind of makes sense. Sellers are generally going to be more willing to sell at the top than buyers to buy. But what we are seeing are buyers are kind of happy to start buying higher up. But that is dangerous for them, because now what could happen is, because we got a lot of buy volume higher up in the range, if sellers were able to get lower down, these buyers will now really feel the pressure and they'll be the first ones to drop out, which will cause kind of a bit of a snowball effect and add more sell pressure technically into the market. And then we could actually take out the buyers who are lower down, and then that can be a complete boom, 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 boom. Do you see what I mean? How it's like a domino effect, right? One domino knocks each other over and then it just keeps going. Because buyers are willing to buy higher up, which puts them in a vulnerable position. Sellers as a whole, like these sellers at the top, their stop isn't that far away, right? So they're probably willing to add more size and be a bit more risky than these buyers, because they're like, right, well, if I get stopped out, it's not that big of a deal. But these buyers, they might have their stops here, they might have it down here, but either way, it's a bit higher risk for them. So let's see actually what happened. It should be interesting. I mean, it'll be very interesting if the sellers manage to kind of push it down, and we'll see those buyers all flood out, because then we have a really nice short move, which will be cool. Will do. Thanks, man. No problem. Can you explain a bad market? A bad market would be similar to this, what we're seeing right now, where there's no one's really agreeing with anything. So what we're getting here, sorry, 1 second, look at this. Are we going to see a massive spike in buy volume? Are the sellers getting out? We want to see a clear spike. This is sure a few sellers, but we haven't really seen a massive pop, right? Wait for it. Wait for it. Are they going to get squeezed out? No, not yet. Not yet. That is, no, sellers are still willing to short. I wouldn't say they're out yet. Most sellers are still probably in, which is kind of surprising, to be fair, because we're getting higher and higher, but they're holding. They are holding. They're not willing to jump out. I mean, naturally, of course, a few of this volume is going to be some sellers, but we didn't get like an obvious spike, and they're not seeing it as like, oh, it's broken out and the range is done. They're seeing it as, no, this is still in play. We're still willing to short. So fair enough. It still hasn't happened. Still hasn't happened. They haven't been squeezed out. And this is why the volume is so important to read, because we can assume where their stops will be. We can probably move this up a little bit to match that high there. But until you actually see it happen in a footprint, no one's been stopped out really. But at some point, they're going to have to, right? They're going to have to drop their position. They can't hold this forever. But they want it so desperately that I'm kind of feeling that the sellers might take control here. I'm starting to lean a little bit more on the sell side just because they're not giving up. They are not giving up. But neither are buyers, really. Buyers are happy to keep buying higher up. So it's still, it's still anyone's call. Autumn, good to see you. Oh, come on, where's the spike? We still didn't get to see a spike. Come on, there's got to be one, surely. Where the hell are their stops? Oops. I need to look at structure. I mean, it could very well, maybe at this low here that was now, maybe they put their stops up there, potentially. Hard to say. But I think the majority of sellers are still in the market. The big sellers are still in the market. They haven't given up yet. Which again begs the question, do they know something? Why are they holding? Why haven't they got out? It was almost like yesterday we saw the same thing happen and we were like, oh, insider trading, right? But buyers are just as adamant, and it feels very much like yesterday this happened. And we saw what happened yesterday. It was insider trading, but the news that did come out was kind of actually, you could read it both ways, and therefore it was just a crazy swing. Surely they're going to get stopped out. Still not. I think they want to squeeze the sellers first, stuck in buyers, and then squeeze them and want both sides. Yeah, that kind of happened yesterday, didn't it, Brian? If you remember, that literally happened yesterday. But no, the sellers are still happy to try and they haven't given up yet. That's why it's been such a choppy grind up, because they're still in the market. They haven't given up. Whereas when you compare it to, how the market moves when one side does give up, like this move down we caught, beautiful, so smooth and beautiful. This is, two sides of the market. They're still at it. They're not giving up. How is that volume footprint indicator you mentioned going based off the newly introduced ability for Pine Script to read footprint? I remember you mentioning this on a few. Yes, Rev. I haven't really done any changes. It's still up on here. I haven't actually switched it on. But I need to make a lot of kind of like tweaks to it. It's not really doing too well. Like it's calling out moves that aren't actually technically like I need to still go back to ChatGPT and get all the settings and get it a bit more precise. I've yet to really do that. But yeah, I've been playing with AI to try and write one for me. It's been a dog's breakfast so far. It is a bit tough. Like you need to be so specific with your commands, and yeah, because I don't know. I mean, and I guess because I can't really read code, I don't know when it gives me all the code. Like, I have no clue what. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like, oh yeah, that's clearly wrong. I have no idea. I can't just copy and paste it and hope for the best. So I can't really, I don't know. But I'm sure, like, if I put a lot of time into it, I'm sure I can get it better. Might be that their stops are above the session high. It could be. It could be. I mean, they're definitely holding. I mean, that would be a huge stop. There's definitely 100%. There'll be like a ton of stops up here. Definitely. But I do wonder where the big seller, because there's a few very big sellers in this market, where they're willing to get out, and it's hard to know. It really is hard to know. I don't think PineScript can actually read the footprint yet. Yeah, I don't know, Nils. I really don't know. I mean, they say that they can now. Wait a second, because my one gives me like a little. If I just take, so it says here, top by 708. But what? I've got ticks per row at 4. Okay, so if I set it to 4 ticks per row, so it matches the indicator. Top by 708. Well, that's obviously wrong. It's not 708. It's 298. Unless it calculates all of it. 2, 3, 400. Even that doesn't make sense. Top sell. It's reading stuff that doesn't actually. You're right. It's not really reading the data, is it? Unless it's reading not the delta. 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Okay. I get it now. It's reading. Right. Okay, but that's fine. Like the delta. Okay, I need to tell it, read it as delta footprint, not as buy sell. I think there's my issue as well. It's just reading the buy and sell, and whichever side is bigger, it will. Right. I need to tell it big delta. That is okay. So there's one little problem I've already figured out why it's giving me bad data. So there we go. Yeah, I use Lux Algo's SMC indicator, which finds fair value gaps, order blocks, supply zone, etc. Ask data to code signals only in these key levels. The Lux Lua logo code sees improved somewhat. Okay, nice. That sounds really good. PineScript can read it. No, it can. Request footprint is the new API. Yeah, so it can read it. It can read it, yeah, 100%. Because when I switched it to buy and sell, then it made sense. But I must have, well, I don't think I was specific enough when I told it to code delta footprint. Look at the delta, not. I just said buy and sell. So obviously, that's actually my poor. That's my problem. I didn't make it specific enough. So I can actually that's one little bit I can make a tweak to right away, and then that should give me a bit better results. For it to display the indicator, it's not a read issue. Definitely algorithm tweaks. 100%, 100%. Try subtracting bids and ask from the scripts for delta. Yeah. Come on, man. I feel you, Autumn. I feel you. This is such a battle. No one is giving up. But either way, look, I mean, it's been all right. Do you know what's really annoying me? So I'm $40 away from 24K. $40 away. That's actually that does annoy me a little bit. When you're at like a round number and you want a nice round number, but but considering, I mean, it's not too bad. I think we did all right today. Considering, I mean, it was really that one short. That short was a godsend. I mean, that was beautiful. Like, this whole move down was just beautiful. It didn't. it just gave you everything you need. Like the footprint was just lovely. It showed the volume, everything just worked out lovely. I really wish I added a bit more size at the top there, but I didn't expect it to be that nice. You know, what can you do, right? But yeah, that was a really, really nice move. Unlike what's happening now, where it's just chaos. Like imagine you, well, we did buy, but imagine if you're still holding this. This move up for a scalper. This would be the most stressful thing to hold. Up, down, up, down. You're just constantly getting a heart attack. But it's really taken its time. Really taken its time. I think the seller is going to take over here. I'm slowly, if you actually look at the volume now, like there are still buyers, but I feel like the buyers are slowly starting to be like, you know what, this is not worth it. They're giving up a little bit. They're not willing to put that much volume into the market anymore. And now we're seeing sellers really, they're a bit more, you know, they've kept their, they just wouldn't allow themselves to get stopped out. They just keep adding and adding and adding. So I'm starting to think this is where the sellers take over because the buyers are just, they stopped. I can understand. It's just such a slow grind up. Why would you want to be in that? Why would you want to buy in this market? You know. So I kind of get it in a weird way. And you can see actually just in the last few candles, there's been a big chunk. These last two candles here, there's been a big chunk of sellers. In fact, although no buyers have really been stopped out, I would say, you know, there's going to be buyers below. Buy stop's going to be below there and there. Some buyers are still willing to buy, to be fair. But if you're looking at the volume, these two candles here, these two bearish candles, that's got a lot of, oops, I just drew over it. That's got a lot of volume. So two things can happen, but like normally if you get above them, you would expect these sellers to drop out, their stops get hit and everything calms down. But they just keep adding sellers. So I think they want it so much. I am definitely more short now. But it's so choppy, I'm going to have a big stop. If I jump in now, realistically, I'm going to have a big stop and it could keep drifting up because it's so choppy. But here is kind of where I'm debating. Fuck it. Let's try and make $40 at least. Let's see if the sellers can actually take it. I'll have a bigger stop. I'm up for the day. It's fine. Yeah, I can risk $70. That's fine. I'm up 200 something, $80 risk. Let's see if the sellers here, why not? I think buyers are going to start giving up soon. Again, we just need to get below this kind of black line to get new buyers coming in at the low, which is obvious. But if we, where are these sellers? These sellers here, predominantly, these are the guys we want to kind of, you know, hold the line. Look at that, buyers are coming back in. Took them a while. Jesus, that was a terrible entry. That was a really bad entry. They came in exactly when I got in. But we'll see if the sellers are, you know, willing to keep. Let me just move it a little bit to factor in a spread. There we go. All right, sellers are still trying to come back in, but maybe I don't like how, you know, I only based that decision because of the fact that there was no buyers really coming in, and then literally the buyers came in the last second. What can you do? Bad timing. But kind of makes sense. Look, I mean, it's I literally shorted at the bottom of a range if you actually think about it, right? Like this is starting to be a bit of a range here. But ultimately, I'm still more on the bearish side here. I think the sellers are they're just more willing. You know, I could have probably better to have jumped in a bit. You know, waited a little bit, get a bit of a better price, but it's fine. Can have a bigger stop, and yeah, sellers are just more willing. They're just not giving up. Maybe on the 15-minute or the 5-minute, we could see some volume distribution, but I doubt it. We don't really see anything. And then 15-minute, do we see anything? Nah. None of it. It's all a bit boring. But as long as sellers keep this kind of, are willing to keep entering, we're not really going to go up massively. Do you know what I mean? We're going to trickle up here and there like we have been. It's not going to be insane. So this is good now, finally. So we had fresh buyers come in, more in this candle. Sellers are still willing to jump in. They're still willing to keep shorting. Get below this black line here. We know that there's going to be stops there. We're going to see a big chunk of sell volume. If we get below that black line, can we do it now? Buyers buying at the bottom, but it's fine. I think sellers about to take it any second. Come on, sellers. Any second. Because we want to see buyers give up and exit the market. Oh, there it is, 700. Boom. All right, so some buyers definitely got stopped out, but now we just, as long as sellers keep selling, we'll get that pushed down, and hopefully buyers give up buying, right? But we also going to have stops down here, and we're going to have some here. So there's a lot to work through because we have a big accumulation of volume. But the moment the buyers give up, I think we'll have that move. I could have had a better entry. It was a bit unfortunate that, these buyers just happened to come in a couple of seconds after I entered. But sellers were never giving up. They just weren't giving up. And if they don't give up, they're going to keep controlling this market, essentially. And it's whoever gives up first. And it looked like around this area, this is where buyers started giving up. They gave it one last push. But now as we're getting lower down, buyers are still willing to buy. But as long as sellers are willing to sell like they have been for ages, we can defeat them, and we'll have a nice move down, all the way back down potentially to these lows. And look at that. As soon as, again, more stops getting hit, we'll try target these lows. I think that's quite a good target. There we are. So again, more stops getting hit. We're kind of seeing that a lot of buyers are flying. So a lot of this volume is not, a part of it is going to be real sell pressure. Of course, there's always going to be an element of that. But a lot of it is going to be, buyers all in this area here, all getting out at break even, boom, 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 boom. And now there's fresh buying happening, which is actually very dangerous, and I don't like it. Oh, that's very dangerous. I need to see selling come in right this second. Bring him back down. I also don't like the fact that it's 666. If there's going to be a number, you don't want 666, do you? Because buyers have regained. Yeah, see, buyers have regained. Before they weren't really that interested in buying anymore near the top. Now they're kind of interested in buying again. But as long as sellers, that's it. Dropped it back down to 400. I need to see sellers interested in selling. And we're starting to see that again. Took them a few seconds, but they are somewhat interested because it was 666. Now it's back down to 400. There's some fresh sellers. We need to, as long as they're interested, it's okay. But the moment they just give up interest, yeah, then buyers can just take over because you open the door for that, momentum to occur. So it was all right. Got a little bit touchy there, but we got through it. Oh, there's definitely some big stops. Look at that huge spike in volume. That's down to these lows. That's a lot of buyers who got in at the bottom of the original range, all being like, shit, I'm out. But again, buyers are willing to transact. They're not giving up. 900. So you just want to keep track of how the numbers are moving. 80, 800, sorry. 860, back to 900. So the sellers are coming in, back to 1,000. Great. That's sellers interested again, you know? So really good stuff. But again, buyers interested in buying, right? So we need to see sellers interested in selling. Good. Back down to negative 90, negative 100. Good. Negative 17. Oh, back down to up to 50. It means buyers, they're kind of balanced right now. Back to negative 100. Good. That means sellers are still interested. Negative 200, negative 300. That's good. You know, I want to see that kind of that interest. There is an iceberg here because there's a lot of sell pressure coming in, but it's not really dropping much. That means there is an iceberg at the bottom. But I think we can break through it. I can't imagine it's going to be a massive one. There you go, 300, beautiful. So we're cleared that area. We can kind of take a sigh of relief until the next little bit. In terms of take profit, I mean, let's see if we can go all the way down here, to be fair. Why not, right? As long as this keeps going, we'll keep holding. Again, buyers willing to buy. So buyers are a bit more willing to buy the dip, essentially. They're not afraid to buy this market right now. But it's good. 340, 400, 300. That's a lot of volume coming in. They're buying heavy. Sellers, where are you? You seeing how there's no sellers right now? There's like the numbers aren't dropping massively. I'm going to give them another couple of seconds because naturally, you know, there it is a little bit, drop back to 400. Okay, so there's a little bit of selling, back to 500, back to 400. There we go. All right. You know, crisis averted. They did come in a little bit towards the end there. That's why I want to give them always a few more seconds, give them, you know, the chance to actually come in. Because not everyone's going to come in right at the low. Some people like to have a little bit of a pullback to get a better price. That makes sense, right? But as long as the numbers drop, it's fine. There we go. So more sellers coming in, 300. Naturally, a lot of these buyers are about to get stopped out. There's those buyers who just came in getting stopped out. So again, not real sell pressure. So you always got to factor in, you know, where did buyers come in? They came in here. Of course, they just got stopped out, right? So that's not all sell pressure. That's a lot of stops, right? Good, good. Just keep adding, keep adding. We can... I'm just going to draw a line there because that's kind of like a low. I can imagine there might be some take profits as well. So again, I also want to look at where my fellow sellers are getting out the market, right? And naturally, you know, any kind of low stuff like that, you're going to naturally assume sellers are going to also take profit. Look at that. Buyers still willing to buy, though. Same shit. Let's see if the sellers can drop that back down. There's a bit of a pullback. 300, 400. No sellers yet. Back to 3. Okay, a few sellers. Back to 400. Buyers are overpowering them. 600. Not good. Come on. Drop that number. You can do it. That's it. Back to 300. Oh, back to 4. Back to 5. So buyers are reloading a bit more aggressively now. Are you seeing that? Bit more aggressive buyers. 600. And it's not dropping as, like the numbers aren't dropping as significant as they were. There we go, back to 300. There's the sellers, 200. They're taking control again. They're willing to transact. Good. Crisis averted. Same shit. But buyers have reloaded. They're reloading. But come on, sellers. Let's hold the line. That's holding the line, you know? There we go, back to 71. Closed at negative 66. Damn. So yeah, good. You know, well done, sellers. 400. Naturally, all those buyers who did enter there, if we get a little bit below, you know, this low here, you're going to see a big there. They are. Boom. All those buyers who did enter there, they've just been stopped out. Boom. Right? They're all getting stopped out. So again, not fresh sellers. A lot of those buyers, because it was up to 600 there, right? At one point. That's a lot of them getting out. But again, going to be an element of fresh sellers as well. So we wait for the next little bit, and we just keep doing this. Just keep going until it ends, until you see it. It's failed, and then you get out. But something is happening here now a little bit. I think there's also take profits happening because that was a very big spike in volume. So I do think there's some take profits. Sellers are actually exiting the market as well. But we got some fresh sellers coming in. Oh, they've got back down to negative 20, negative 100. Oh, yeah. I think sellers have exited. Buyers are coming in. I'm happy. We're at that kind of low as well, where you expect a lot of take profits, in this little area here. I think that was an element of a lot of take profits as well. So I'm happy. I'm happy with that. That was nice. Yeah, we got some really good moves there. When they take control well, the sellers. Really nice. All right. Cumulative delta still showing upside, but might be topping out a bit here. I've got 15 points to play with for today, so I'm having to sit on my hands a bit. No problem, Tamsley, no problem. I would like to see them shake these longs out with a drop. Well, Brian, you got your wish. Momentum trading does that. May I ask, why do you use TradingView with order flow rather than Sierra charts or others? Ronald, so I actually always use Sierra charts. Sierra charts is what majority of my career I use Sierra charts. But realistically speaking, it's not beginner friendly. Sierra. Oh. Sorry, I will get to that, Ronald. But oh my God, did you see every buyer? And oh man, I should have held that shit. Every buyer has just been squeezed out in one big, massive move. Damn. That's every. Oh, damn. Now that is, hey, what can you do, right? I did not expect that to happen. Yeah, I just left a lot of money on the table right there. Holy crap. That's got to be something. Has anything just come out? Nuclear power plant's been 316. Okay, news. That was news. 316. Guys, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Remember up here when I was like, there was a big seller who just won't get out the market. They don't seem to have any stop loss. They're just happy to keep selling, keep selling, keep selling. Why is that? Why were they happy to keep selling and not get out the market even when it was going against them and they were clearly in drawdown and they just kept doubling down and doubling down? Goes against risk management. People don't do that. And I said it was just like yesterday, very insider trading like. And what would you know? What would you know? Oh, of course, yeah. I'm telling you, man, this market is full of insider trading lately. Whenever something doesn't add up and it doesn't make sense in the footprint, be suspicious now. Be really, really suspicious, because I guarantee you, the person who just kept selling here, and like every time I was like, their stops have to be hit by now, surely. Who's holding this? Do you know what I mean? It just kept selling. They weren't giving up. That's the only reason I shorted, right? Because I was like, the seller wants it more. This person is clearly very adamant at getting this market down. They don't care. Do you know what I mean? They know, of course they know something, And, well, they've definitely made a pretty penny. Let's put it that way. They made a lot of money. So fair play to them, but holy moly. What can you do, right? They probably thought it would be. Look at that. So what actually happened? Right, the nuclear power plant has been struck. Iran's nuclear power plant. Would people see that as Trump potentially going against his initial word of saying we're not going to strike any energy infrastructure? I guess it can, and we're kind of undoing all. Where was it? Sorry, it wasn't here. It was a bit further up. We could potentially start looking at, undoing the big push up we had, as people are starting to see it as okay, maybe it's not de-escalating. So who knows? But again, it doesn't say who struck it, right? Doesn't actually say who struck it. Was it the US? Was it Israel? We don't know. So, I mean, I know it's US and Israel obviously together, but yeah, who knows? So, but definitely insider trading again. That seller up here this whole time, but they're being a bit more smart now. I think what they did the other day, I think it was Monday or whenever it was, where they literally bought all in one chunk and it became so obvious. Everyone in the world recognized that, right? They're being a bit more subtle now. I think they probably got into a bit of trouble. Whoever did it was like, "Come on, dude, don't make it so obvious," right? So they're being a bit more subtle. They're kind of, just going in chunks, maybe 30 minutes to an hour before, just kind of selling aggressively, but not in one big chunk, just a little bit, boom, 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 piling on the orders. So they're being a little bit more subtle with their insider trading. Let's just put it that way. But Ronald, like I was saying, yeah, Sierra chart's very complicated to use. Trading Views, actually, I really like Trading. I've really become fond of how it works, and I like that it's cloud-based. It's clean. It does everything I need from an order flow platform, because really you can see how I trade. I literally trade just looking at the delta footprint, and that's all I need, really. So I kind of like it. Everyone's saying, holy moly, damn, wow, I got out early. Yes, well, I got out early as well. I just didn't expect that, The signs were there, though, but always hindsight, Poor bastard buyers. Insiders, exactly. There goes Baron again. Matt says Iran nuclear power plant here, exactly. Why do you trade SPX USD and not ES directly? So Scott, because I'm part of Ola Prime, we're a prop firm and also a CFD broker. I'm trading on our brokerage, which is CFD. We're not a futures broker. We are a futures prop firm, though. We do have futures available as a prop, and also CFDs. But on our brokerage, it's only CFD. So therefore, I'm trading with obviously the company I work for. Okay. We're looking for another ES short. Oil seems like it may surge. At this point in time, I'll have to kind of wait. I'll have to figure out exactly what happened. So this was news reaction. A lot of this volume is just going to be buyers getting obviously stopped out, fresh sellers, and now we're kind of, I think a lot of sellers are trickling out, lightening their position, people who did sell here, because it's very hard to get out all in one go. And there's going to be an element of fresh buying. So I kind of want to see structure be recreated a bit, because this has just wiped out so much volume. All this is out, and a lot of these sellers who moved down are probably out as well, or getting out in this move up. So I kind of want to wait for the next cycle before I can figure out what could happen next. Does that make sense? Enjoy the rest of your day, Sammy. Thank you, Coach C. I personally would be very cautious of any claim or statement from the US or Israel at this time. The game plan is mainly based on lies and deception right now. Yeah, and I think it reflects a lot in the market as well. That's why we have such indecision. Some people take the word as gospel. Other people are saying, well, actually, can we really believe everything that's being said right now? And that's why we have such choppy markets, You can't, very dangerous times. Sam, can US residents join the Forex broker? Absolutely, Eric Lake. Yeah, you can. Rocky says Iran have basically denied a ceasefire and have said they will end the war when the strategic goals are met. Yeah, exactly. Iran as well. They're not taking shit right now as well. They're like, well, actually, no. So it's chaotic. I mean, it's very hard to kind of gauge what's going to happen next, and that's exactly why the markets are so insane. So if you're going to trade these markets, don't swing trade it. Swing trading right now would be genuinely a coin flip at this point in time. It doesn't matter whether it's VWAP, what structure, what indicator. I'm telling you, swing trading at this moment in time is a coin flip, right? Because unless again you got insider knowledge and you know what's going to happen, it doesn't care about structure right now. Any significant news update will completely wipe out, and it will choose the direction based on that fundamental news. Swing trading is not going to work in this market. You might get lucky. You might be on the right side of the market and be like, oh, look, it bounced off this support and that's why it did it. But that's not the reason why it did it. Do you know what I mean? In hindsight, you can make an excuse for why it did it. But yeah, this is a scalper's market and be very, very in and out. That would be my advice to everyone. And you know, pick your trades well. Be patient. Keep your stop nice and tight. And the moment you see something you don't like, get the hell out. You don't need to make big home run trades here. If it keeps, you know, trail it. You know, I kind of wish but again, news. I mean, who would have known, right? You saw the buyers were kind of coming back in again. It was getting it was slowing down in this area. And then obviously, you know, news dropped that. All right, fine. But the order flow at that moment in time was kind of, you know, starting to look like the sellers were weak a bit, you know, people were getting out the market, sellers were exiting. But I trailed it for what I believed was as far as I'm comfortable holding it, you know. Same with that move down. I trailed it for as comfortable as much as I saw it was comfortable. And I don't think the exits were terrible. You know, where I got out, we did start going sideways. Yes, we had a little bit of a drop again. Here I got stopped out to a tick, a bit too tight. Here again, I got out of this buy position because and look how choppy it got afterwards. And then here, well, the news. And so I think all in all, my exits have been actually quite good today. I've been super cautious, yes, but I think I'm quite happy with how I exited the market as a whole. And your exit sometimes is more important than not more important, but equally as important as your entries a lot of the time. So it's been good. It's been good. Thank you, Eric. I do appreciate that. Yeah, if people could leave a like, that always does help me out. Thank you, ZT Content, as well. But guys, I think we're about 2 hours live now. I think I'm happy with what I did. Not bad. Pretty good profit today. So I'm happy with that. Yeah, we did all right. About 2% or so. Not bad. 2% on the account. But guys, so I'll leave it there. I'll be back again tomorrow, obviously. We'll keep trading this market. Hopefully things get a bit more calmer and we get some resolution hopefully soon, but doubtful. It's going to be like this tomorrow. Let's be honest. Thank you, Cody. So everyone watching, thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you all. Take care. Have a great rest of your day. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.